Namaskar, learner. Today's paper is MLIS 1 Information Communication and Society. Uh, Today we are going to know about information policy at the Indian national level. So, what will be our learning outcome? You will be able to know about various vision, mission, objectives, elements, strategies, requirements, policy questions, levels of policies of following national policy for a library and information system, that is in 1986, then Information Technology Act 2000, Right to Information Act 2005, National Policy on Information Technology 2012, Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code 2021, and the Telecommunication Act 2023. So, what is information policy? The concept of a national information policy, as defined by UNESCO, is a hierarchy of levels of steps. What are those steps? Those are goals, strategy, and program, which is seen in a series of compatible steps for devising a framework for formulating a national information policy for information. National information policy is a set of decisions taken by a government through appropriate laws and regulations to orient the harmonious development of information transfer activities in order to satisfy the information needs of the country. A national information policy needs provision of necessary means or instruments such as financial, personnel, institutional for concrete implementation. This is the definition given by UNICEF in the year 2011. Objective of National Information Policy. Objective of national information policy is to achieve a progressive upliftment of socio-economic development of the country through the provision of access to the availability of information and knowledge with speed and efficiency to all those who are involved in activities for national development. In the context of India, a national information policy must necessarily be governed by and from an integrated and harmonious part of the socio-economic, educational, research and development and other related policies which get formulated at various stages of our national development. Information policy needs to be compatible with 5-year national plan of the country. Why policies are required? They standardize activities, facilitate decision making, minimize confusion, coordinate the activities of various units, and conserve time training personnel. There are various levels of policy formulations. Those are institutional level, regional level, state level, then national, and finally international level. So, while framing a national information policy in India, incidences towards formation of national information policy in India. Establishment of National Informatics Center, National Information System for Science and Technology, Working Group for Modernization of Library Services and Informatics in the 7th 5-year plan, the setting up of the Information and Library Network by the University Grants Commission to link up the resources of libraries of universities and R&D institutions, formation of Delhi Library Network and Calcutta Library Network. Today, Delhi Library Network is known as Developing Library Network. Policies adopted by Government of India in various related sectors are National Policy on National Policy of Library and Information System, which is known as NAPLIS 1986, National Book Policy 1986, Scientific Policy Resolution 1958, Technology Policy 1983, Task Force for a Information Technology Action Plan in 1998, Information Communication Policy, Information Technology Act 2000. Policies adopted by Government of India in various related sectors are Freedom of Information Act 2002, National Knowledge Commission 2005, Formation of National Knowledge Commission is 2005, Right to Information Act 2005, National Policy on Information Technology 2012, Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code 2021, in the Telecommunications Act. Now I'll briefly discuss about the National Information Policy on Library and Information System. After that, I'll speedily go to the latest policies and discuss about them. Professional associations like the Indian Library Association, the Indian Association of Special Libraries and Information Centers, the Society for Information Science were urging the government to initiate efforts through a number of seminars and conferences towards formulating a national information policy. Separate draft policy statements were prepared by ILA and the Raja Rammohun Roy Library Foundation and submitted to Government of India in the year 1984. As a consequence, the Department of Culture set up a committee in 84 under the chairmanship of Professor Chattopadhyay for the formulation of a national policy for a library and information system. Committee submitted a draft policy on library information system in May 1986. So, what are the elements of NIP 86? Those are objectives, public library system, bibliographical service, manpower development, professional status, modernization of library and information system, central professional issues, implementing agencies, financial support. And what are the recommendations of this policy? Upgrading the and coordinating the existing library and information system, initiating new programs relevant to our national needs using information technology. Now we are coming to Information Technology Act 2000. The need to regulate e-commerce in particular and the newly opening universe of information technology in general was not restricted to India. In 16 December 1996, resolution adopted by the United Nations General Assembly recommended the creation and adoption 468 of a model law on e-commerce. Along with the rest of the world, the India Parliament enacted the Information Technology Act 469 on 9th June 2000. And what was that act? It was framed to provide legal recognition for transactions carried out by means of electronic data interchange and other means of electronic communication, commonly referred to as electronic commerce, which involve the use of alternatives to paper based methods of communication and storage of information to facilitate electronic filing of documents with the government agencies. Now we are coming to Right to Information Act 2005. In India, the Right to Information Act was passed in 2005, which came into force on October 12th. The Act seeks to end excessive secrecy in governance and strive for an open system with reasonable safeguards and empowerment to the people, curbing corruption. Public information officers have been appointed in the central government ministries and departments. With the enforcement of the law and the number of state government local bodies and organizations substantially funded by the government have also appointed public information officer to receive application for information with a fee of rupees 10. But for the poor people, there is no such fee. They can have the information photocopied at the rate of rupees 2 per page and even electronically in compact disc, video cassettes, audio cassettes, certified samples and diskettes, tapes and floppies. The people can inspect official works, documents and records which are open to public and not secret information. The applicants can take notes of their own. Such information would be provided within 30 days of the application, and if information concerns the life and liberty of a person, such information will be provided in 48 hours. Failure to give information will be deemed as refused, but if there is genuine reason for refusal of the information, reasons for such refusal will be given. Those seeking information could then apply to the appellate authority. And there are some exceptions of this Right to Information Act, which are I am mentioning here. information disclosure of which would prejudicially affect the sovereignty and integrity of India. The security strategies, scientific or economic interest of the state, relations with foreign states, or lead to incitement of an offense. Besides, information which have been expressively forbidden to be published by any court of law or tribunal, or the disclosure of which may continue contempt of court. The Act jurisdiction extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. National Policy on Information Technology, which was devised in the year 2012. It was devised to strengthen the enhance India's position as the global IT hub, to use IT and cyberspace as an engine for rapid, inclusive, and substantial growth in the national economy. National Policy on Information Technology has some mission to consolidate India's position as the global ITES hub and leverage it contribute significantly to GDP and employment. The mission number 2 is to create a sustainable ecosystem for R&D and innovation to emerge as a global leader in the conception, design, and development of new products, services, processes, and business models. Third mission is to leverage ICT for enhanced competitiveness and productivity of key economic and strategic sector. Fourth one is to provide ubiquitous, affordable access to information and public services for enhancing efficiently transparency, accountability, and reliability and leverage use of ICT as a driver for social inclusion. And it is the fifth mission that is to be the leading resource base for IT and ITS talent for domestic and global markets. Sixth mission is to ensure a secure cyberspace to facilitate trust and enable sustainable growth of ICT. And seventh one is to transform India into a knowledge society. There are certain objectives of this policy. This is to increase revenues of IT and ITS industry from 100 billion US dollar at present to 300 billion US dollar by 2020 and expand exports from 69 billion US dollar at present to 200 billion US dollar at by 2020 to gain significant global market share in emerging technologies and services, to promote innovation and R&D in cutting edge technologies and development of applications and solutions in areas like localization, local based services, mobile value added services, cloud computing, social media, and utility models. To encourage adoption of ICTs in key economic and strategic sectors to improve their competitiveness and productivity. National Policy on Information Technology 2012 have some other objectives also. The fifth objective is to provide fiscal benefits to SMEs and startups for adoption of IT in value creation, to create a pool of 10 million additional skilled manpower in ICT, to make at least one individual in every household illiterate, to provide for mandatory delivery of an affordable access to an public service in electronic mode. Ninth objective is to enhance transparency, accountability, efficiency, reliability, and decentralization in government and in particular in delivery of public services, to leverage ICT for key social sector initiatives like education, health, rural development, and financial services to promote equity and quality, to make India a global hub for development of language technologies to encourage and facilitate development of content accessible in all Indian languages and thereby help bridge the digital divide, to enable access of content and ICT applications by differently abled people to foster inclusive development. The 13th objective is to leverage ICT for expanding the workforce and enabling lifelong learning. Then there is other objectives to strengthen the regulatory and security framework for ensuring a secure and legally compliant cyberspace ecosystem. The 15th objective is to adopt open standards and promote open source and open technologies. This policy, while frameworking, they have developed certain strategies. Strategy is something that the way a policy will implement. Strategy 1 is creating ecosystem for a globally competitive IT ITS industries. So what are these creating ecosystems? What will be the globally competitive IT and ITS? How to implement it? To make requisite policy changes to make India a preferred destination to establish and operate IT, ITES enterprises, including a stable tax regime and strengthening of the enabling infrastructure. Then to formulate the fiscal and other policies to attract investment in IT industry in tier 2 and tier 3 cities and rural areas for expanding the base of IT and for creating employment opportunities across the country. To promote ICT companies in accessing new markets through bilateral agreements, enhancing smooth trade and facilitating mobility for skilled workforce and creating awareness. Then, to promote ICT companies in accessing new markets through bilateral agreements, enhancing smooth trade and facilitating mobility for skilled workforce and creating awareness. To formulate policies to provide fiscal benefits in SMEs and startups in the key industrial sectors for adoption of IT in value creation. To evolve sector specific strategies in areas like engineering, health, education, skill development, security, legal, financial, accounting, etc., with the ministries and representative sector bodies concerned to open up the remote services market in new fields, services, and to enhance value addition in existing services. To evolve new region market specific strategies with the ministries and industry bodies concerned in order to expand new markets. To integrate Indian IT products, services, and expertise in Indian foreign aid programs. The strategy two is human resource development. To create necessary physical and institutional infrastructure for creating a pool of 10 million trained persons. Just think it over. They're expecting 10 million trained persons in IT sector by the year 2020 through formal and non-formal sectors with focus on skill development and expertise creation. To set up centers of excellence in institutes of higher learning, to promote high-end research in specialized ICT areas and producing quality doctoral and postdoctoral levels researchers, to create mechanism to ensure that at least one individual in every household is illiterate. So there are other strategies also under sub strategies under human resource development. Those are to create a framework to certify the level of applied knowledge and skills of personnel in specific areas of ICT, to catalyst continuous updation of curriculum and syllabi at all levels to include the current developments and relevant knowledge of ICT as an integral part of the educational program. Strategies 3 is promotion of innovation and R&D in IT sector. And there are some sub strategies under this strategy. 3.1 is to support SMEs and startup companies to equip them for competitive environment through fiscal benefits, innovation fund and incubation facilities. To create an innovation challenge agenda to promote innovation in ICT sector, to build R&D infrastructure and test facilities for development and adoption of emerging technologies like next generation computing system, high performance computing system, cloud computing, GIS, mobile technologies, interoperable infrastructure for small financial transactions, speech, language, technologies, etc. Promotion of innovation and R&D is the strategies 3, and there are some sub-strategies. Sub-strategies are to incentivize innovation in public supported research, to promote industry, academia, collaborative R&D with emphasis on innovation products, patents and IPs, to encourage adoption of IT-based green technologies as well as promotion of green technologies by making them competitive through appropriate fiscal and non-fiscal policies, to strengthen the ecosystem for creation as well as protection of intellectual property. Strategy 4 is enhancing productivity and competitiveness in key sectors through ICT 1. And the sub strategies are to leverage ICT, including mobile technology, to enable outreach of secure and interoperable financial and banking services in remote areas at affordable cost, to enable long-term partnership with industry for use of ICT in cutting-edge technology, driving development of new ICT technologies through strategic sectors, facilitate growth of IT SMEs and use of IT across all SMEs. To promote use of IT in key economic sectors such as construction, textiles, pharmaceuticals, banking, finance, retail, energy, automobiles, healthcare, education, agriculture, engineering services, transport and logistics for improved efficiency and productivity. To promote the availability and use of public key infrastructure, payment gateways, and authentication systems leveraging Aadhaar, to leverage internet and web technologies for developing new products, technologies, and business. Enable seamless, ubiquitous, secure, and personalized delivery of government and non-government services through internet-based and mobile-based delivery of services throughout the country. Foster an ecosystem for innovation in services by leveraging Aadhaar as well as financial and location based services. So, again, I'm repeating the strategy 5 is creating an ecosystem for internet and mobile driving service industry. And sub strategies are to leverage mobile devices as instruments for enabling secure transactional services, including financial services, to promote development of an ecosystem for enabling innovation and entrepreneurship related to mobile value added services. Strategy 6 is enabling service delivery through e-governance, to implement the national e-governance plan and mandate provision of all government services through electronic mode with a fixed time frame by enactment of the electronic delivery of services EDS in short form bill, and through re-engineering processes to enhance efficiencies of service delivery, to mandate public procurement through electronic mode across all departments to enhance transparency and competition, to set up a wide network of common service delivery access points for enabling assisted access to electronic services, to accelerate and standardize delivery of electronic services by providing common shareable service delivery platforms by leveraging technologies like cloud computing, to develop, adopt, evolve, and notify standards for seamless interoperability of data and applications, to promote open standards and open technologies, to enhance institutional framework for capacity building program for imparting training across all levels, to design and create a citizen engagement framework for utilization of social media by the government and its agencies, to design and implement policy framework for placing data in public domain for use and value addition, to promote public private partnerships in e-governance projects and facilitate flow of private sector financial and technical capabilities into the national e-governance effort, especially in areas where viable investments are feasible. Strategy number 7 is development of language technologies, to undertake development of language technologies that enable text to speech and speech to text conversion, voice recognition, machine translation, voice wave, interlingua, etc., to enable language independence delivery of service. to make India the global hub for language technologies. Strategy is GIS based IT service to develop GIS platform for facilitating location based planning, service delivery, information availability and disaster management, enabling availability of public spatial data for value addition and innovation. Strategy 9 is security of cyberspace to undertake policy promotion and enabling actions for compliance in international security based best practice and conformity assessment, that is product process technology and people, and incentives for compliance to promote indigenous development of suitable security technologies and technology through frontier technology research, solution oriented research, proof of concept, pilot development, etc., and development of secure IT products and processes. Create a culture of cybersecurity for responsible user behavior and actions, including building capacities and awareness campaigns. To create, establish, and operate an information security assurance framework. Now we are discussing about the information technology intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics rules 2021, which is also updated on 2023. Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Rules 2021 were released by the central government in February 2021. The 2021 rules are framed further to the exercise of powers by the Government of India of the Information Technology Act 2000, and the 2021 rules have now been amended Wide Information Technology Amendment Rules in 2023. The 2021 rules supersede the previously framed Information Technology Rules 2011. The 2021 rules were introduced to update the regulatory framework in order to empower the ordinary users of social media and place obligations on social media intermediaries. Those are known as SMIS, and significant social media intermediaries. Those are known as SSMI, for a safe and trusted online environment. In 2023, amendment has now placed significant obligations also on the online gaming intermediaries. This article seeks to understand the impact of the 2023 amendment and the key additions made therein. The key features of 2021 rules: due diligence. Diligence means carefulness, persistence. So, what will be the due diligence? SMIs are defined as intermediary which primarily or solely enable online interaction between two or more users and allow them to create, upload, share, disseminate, modify, or access information using its services. And SSMIs are defined as a social media intermediary having a number of registered users in India above such threshold as notified by the central government. The expression intermediaries has been defined under Section 2(w) of the Information Technology Act 2000 to mean one with respect to any electronic record on behalf of another person receives, stores, or transmits the record or provides any service with respect to that record and includes telecom service providers, network service providers, internet service providers, web hosting service providers, search engines, online payment sites, online auction sites, online marketplaces, and cyber cafes. Here, in due diligence, they are mentioned some rules to publish on their website or application the rules and regulations, privacy policy, and user agreement for any person's access or usage of their computer resources. To periodically inform its users that in the event of non-compliance of 2021 rules, privacy policy for access usage, it has the right to terminate the access or usage rights or remove the non-compliant information. To not host, store, or publish any unlawful information upon receiving actual knowledge in the form of an order by a court of competent jurisdiction or on being notified by the appropriate government. to share cybersecurity related information with Indian Computer Energy Response Team in accordance with the policies and procedures as mentioned in the Information Technology Response Teams and Manner of Performing Functions and Duties Rule 2013. SSMIs are required to appoint certain personnel for compliance, enable identification of the first originator of the information on its platform under certain conditions and deploy technology based measures on a best effort basis to identify certain types of content. Code of ethics for digital media publishers with online curated competent publishers are required to observe the following: grouping content in age suitable classes as indicated, carrying out an age check system and admittance to grow up content and access control estimates like parental controls, and further developing openness of content for handicapped people. In 2023, the information technology rules were amended. In April 2023, government introduced new rules called the Information Technology Amendment Rules. The most contentious modification introduced by the 2023 amendment is discussed below, that is fact check unit. The rules require the SMIs and SSMIs, an online gaming intermediary, to inform their users to not host, display, upload, modify, publish, transmit, store any information which is identified as fake or false or misleading by a fact check unit of the central government. MeitY is empowered to notify the fact check unit of the central government to identify fake, false, and misleading information about any central government business. In case where information has been flagged as false or misleading, intermediaries are expected to take down the content. The FCU can construct intermediaries not to host such content. Then FCU and the freedom of speech database. It is also mentioned in these rules. Unified authorization framework is a key feature. The telecom sector currently operates under a multi-tiered, complex, and occasionally contradictory set of licenses, registrations, and general rules. Under the Act, this entire framework is proposed to be collapsed into a single authorization regime which will govern diverse entities ranging from core telecommunication service providers, provide passive infrastructure like in-building infrastructure and towers, as well as entities that possesses radio equipment. Now, in this act, telecommunication services are very expansive definitions they have given. The core definition of telecommunications has been remained unchanged. The related definitions of message has been sharpened, and user rights have been identified, and those are expressed over here. And lawful interception or interference and security has been discussed in this act. There are certain points over there. A choice of regime is also important key feature of this act, and adjudication and penalties, which is mentioned over here. So penalties is that the act also includes a grade mechanism for levy of penalties based on severity of the offense, with penalties for severe offenses of up to Indian rupees 5 crore. So we have discussed almost all aspects and issues of national information policy, particularly from the point of view of issues relevant to library and information professionals. There are many aspects of information that are of vital interest. However, in this unit, the discussion has been restricted to the problems and issues of library and information professionals. There are many issues that need attention while formulating a national information policy. These include information resources, organization structure, user category standardization, international issues of exchange, transborder flows of information, intellectual property rights, cooperation and coordination, etc. A brief account of the efforts made by organizations and professional associations is given. Aspects of the Right to Information Act, Information Technology and Electronic Policy of Government of India 2012, Information Technology Rules, Guidelines 2021 and 2023 Telecommunication Act has been discussed over here. So there are certain questions. You can understand that what do you understand by national information policy? Policies are certain frameworks based on certain objective, goal, mission, vision, strategies, and there are certain key features. They are governed by acts and rules. What are the objectives of national policies? Objective is to standardize, to smooth functioning of all the sectors. These are the objectives. And what are the exceptions of Right to Information Act? That is, if it is related to the issues which are under the process of court, those are not to be disclosed. And the places like Jammu and Kashmir, here also there are restrictions. And what is due diligence? Due diligence is carefully and persistently observe the rules. That is the due diligence. And what users' right have been identified in Telecommunication Act. That right to express their due benefits is the main right of this Telecommunication Act 2023. Thank you.